In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about how you can turn free dryouts for plumbers into $500,000 relationships with these plumbers. Guys, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you an example and a real-world case study of a job that I actually did with my own restoration company in Nashville. Here's the deal. Most of you guys are pretty familiar with doing free dryouts with existing plumbers. I'm going to show you how I took a paid water job, turned it into a free dryout to get past the gatekeeper and to build a relationship with a brand new plumber that I was stuck with. Here's the deal. If you own a restoration company and you want to get more water damage jobs specifically for plumbers, you don't want to miss this video. Let's go. Just remember, man, every time that there's something like a free dryout or some problem, that is an opportunity for us to swoop in there, okay? It's an opportunity to swoop in there. And let me share with you one other example. We got called one time. This wasn't a free dryout, but we got a call. I think it was from Google. I can't really remember, all right? But just wherever it came from doesn't matter. We got a call. It didn't come from a plumber, okay? Come to find out, the homeowner, it was a dryout. It wasn't a big one, but it was wet and we needed to dry it out. And they told us that it had just been worked on by a plumbing company. It was a local plumbing company, so they had made a boo-boo, but they didn't call the plumbing company, they just called us. And so we went ahead and dried it out, but you guys already know how the story is going to end, right? Did I try and bill for that thing, or do you think I used that invoice to go have a conversation with a plumber? You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the opportunities that we're looking for. They don't come in every day. Because a lot of the times we're going to get stuck at the gatekeeper. Now I've got an invoice, my man. I've got something to walk right past that gatekeeper and go have a talk with them. Look for those opportunities. Look for them. They're everywhere. I want to share one other thing. I saw somebody ask a question on Facebook, and he was asking, how much do you charge your plumbers for containment? And I want to be very clear. You guys need to be very careful if you ever charge a dime to your plumber for anything. I ain't telling you to go set up a bunch of containment for free. I did not tell you that. I am telling you that if you charge them money, you are opening yourself up to a world of problems. Number one, because a hungry man like Shane might swoop on in there and be like, well, bro, I'll do it for free just for a little while to take the business. Number two, eventually they may feel like you're getting a little greedy. And there's no reason. Like, if they've got to spend money on it, bro, let them use somebody else. Let them get mad at ServPro. Let them get mad at your competitor. Has anybody on this call ever set containment up for a plumber? I never really had to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, certain plumbers will require that, but most plumbers will not. Now, keep in mind, I have no idea where this fellow was. There's a good chance that he was in Slab USA, where they have all slabs and they needed to cut the slab. That's cool. But like, I just ain't trying to make a bunch of money. Here's what I want. I want you to send me so many dadgum referrals that I'm going to set that stuff up for free, and you ain't going to use nobody but me. Does that make sense? Do y'all understand why that's still better? I mean, how long does it really take to go slap up some plastic with an air scrubber? If you go out there and trying to build the containment with the plastic the way they do it, yeah, you'll be out there for 18 hours. Or you can just make it much bigger and just go to a doorway and build a drying chamber. Does that make sense? Use your freaking head. Go set up the containment, but here's the stipulation. Bobby, you're going out there, but you're not going to spend over 90 minutes there. Are we clear? Do whatever you got to do. I want the place clean, and you got less than 90 minutes to do it. So if it takes less than 2 hours of a W-2s of your time, why are you charging them? Because you're trying to build something. You're trying to build a science experiment out of the S500. And all they need is it not to get dirty. Are we clear? So let me answer it this way. If there's any, because if you've got a scenario in your mind that you're not just like, it's not coming out clearly to me, but I think there's probably a scenario, and like you've got a scenario that could be identified and proposed and presented as attractive to the plumber, yes, run with it. So let me say it differently. We would advertise to our plumber, do not ever crawl through a crawl space that has sewage ever again. You call me, I'll get it out. For free. You will never mess with that again. And we're either going to suck it. We'll file an insurance claim. If there's sewage in that crawl space, why is it not a claim? You call me, it's going to be a claim. Does that make sense? Somebody got to get it out anyway. But I don't want that guy crawling through sewage, and he doesn't want to do it either. So you see sewage, you call Shane. Does that make sense? and we can use a trash pump to get it out. We can do any number of things. We may just throw down 5 layers of poly, put him in a respirator suit, but I want you to call me. But let me tell you something. He ain't getting no bill. And they're probably thinking we're going to do it for free. I didn't say that. I said, don't ever do it. Just call us. We'll take care of it. Somebody going to pay for it. It's going to be Jake from State Farm. Liberty Mutual going to pay for it. And then there may be cases where we eat it on our own, but like those will be few and far between. The moral of the story is we're always looking for scenarios to differentiate ourselves and to stand out and serve that plumber, right? Just like Greg said, just the other day, got a chance to go do a free dry out or a free cleanup. And the next thing you know, he's in front of a dozen plumbers. Hey guys, real quick, in case you didn't know, I help people just like you grow and scale your water damage restoration business. If you are interested in me helping you grow and scale your company, go to workwithshane.com. We hop on a 15-minute call to see if we're a good fit. Workwithshane.com. Now, let's go back to the video. And I'm telling you, number one, when you put your jobs on your job board, free dry out should be water-free dry out, so you know that it's a free dry out, so your team knows it's a free dry out, because your protocols and how you dry it should be different too. You don't want to go in there just swinging hammers if it's a free dry out. You don't know if your plumber wants that. Has he ever heard of top-down drying? There's a thing. It's called top-down drying. Now, I'm not telling you should be doing top-down drying. I'm just telling you it could be a thing. And if your guys go in there and swing hammers and they treat a free dry out like a normal job, you will lose that plumber in no time flat. Hey, so while we're talking about it, here's a nice little clip that would sound like a good soundbite for the internet. Here's how you can get a pre-approved dry out for 7 days from an adjuster. You say, Mr. Adjuster, water got on here, whatever. Okay. And this is a scenario where I don't want to take out the tile or whatever. It got a little wet, and I don't think it got super wet, but here's the deal. I'm going to do things that benefit me. Full disclosure. Okay. So if I've got a situation where I can't check the subfloor under the tile, because you can't check subfloor from the top of the tile. You cannot. And you certainly can't check the bottom of the subfloor. And you can't check the subfloor if you've got a cabinet, a vanity. You can't truly check to see if it's dry underneath that vanity. So option 1, we pull the vanity. Option 2, Mr. Adjuster, we can just cook that thing for 7 days. What do you think? And then have the customer sign a waiver. And then the customer's going to be like, hey, I can't verify it. I think we'd be fine, but this is a waiver saying, hey, we're not pulling it, or we can pull it. I just don't want you to go through all that. Don't be afraid to use your waiver. Does that make sense? And don't be afraid to cook that thing for 7 days above and below. And yes, it's going to cost probably more to cook it than it would to replace it, but it'll be close. So I'll think about it. So essentially what I would do, get him to go through the free leads training. Essentially, here's what we do. And then he would go through that, and then that's what he would do on your behalf. Does that make sense? He's still going to charge you either by the hour or by the appointment. I'm not sure how he bills you, right? But if he ran the thing that I'm talking about, he would be much more successful. And really, the core idea is this. Do you guys want more leads? So I would have to think about like the true workflow, because step 1 is to call the companies and find out, do they do this, yes or no? Do they want any of these leads, yes or no? Does that make sense? And if they want the leads, then his deliverable is going to be, if this is what they want, I want name, phone number, email address of the point of contact, right? And book an onboarding interview where I can come meet them. And does that make sense? And so maybe that core deliverable is he books an appointment, and then your calendar, you go meet them, and then you kind of take it from there. If you can't get the face-to-face, then you're going to have to send them a few leads first and then get the face-to-face. Yeah, just log him in or whatever and let him go through that training on the free leads play. The free leads play is going to be probably the best. If you even look at the other ones where I'm calling those other plumbers out, they're still all about, hey, I was doing a search online. I found this. You came up. You do this, this, or this. The only difference was I wasn't framing it as free leads. But, I mean, you understand what the point is, right? Like, all this guy needs to know is, what are some examples of the calls? What questions do I ask? And what is the goal of the call? And the goal of the call is to find out, do they do this? Do they work in this area, right? And do they want leads like this? If so, great. I've got those. I'll start giving them to you. I just want to, can we come in and just do one face-to-face just to make sure everything's good? That's what our owner wants. And if the answer is no, then just find out who the lead goes to, right? Like when we get a lead, what are we going to do? Are we emailing it? Are we calling? Who do we call? What's their name? What's their number? I want a backdoor channel directly to somebody other than the 1-800 number. Guys, if you didn't already know, the two biggest problems you're going to have in owning a restoration company are this. Number one, getting consistent water damage jobs coming in the door. Number two, getting paid what you're worth for those water damage jobs. For that reason, I'm addressing both those problems with these videos to my left or right. On one side, it's about getting jobs. On the other side, it's about getting paid. Go over there, click the link. I'll see you in the next video.